Hi, welcome to this moment. So I wanted to pop on here and share a little bit about the work I do, continuing on, and to just continue to offer these like little gems of distilled perspective from the work I do as an intimacy coach, relationship coach, and with respect to trauma and the culture we live in as well. So this comes up a lot, especially in working with folks, because in the past couple of years, I've moved my practice online. I do work in person like once a month now in Santa Cruz, but primarily online. So I have clients I see in other countries, in other states in the United States. So considering the diversity just in this country and the fact that the colonial settler project was founded from a Puritan perspective, we have like cultural shadow work or cultural dissociation is not the right term, but there's just like a disconnect and ignoring of huge aspects of who we are as people, humans, and animals that include that include our sexuality. And because of this Madonna Whore complex that our culture still has vestigial remnants from, one of my last little episodes here, I was talking about the education system. And so, only half of the states teaching like actual sex ed, is an example, a foundational example of that. So, sensuality and sexuality are not the same thing, and they can be also. So with the taboo culture showing up in like social media, like words like pleasure or certain words, like we can't even use because it's all lumped in to sexuality, which has been put in this box. For many of us who've done this work or like maybe grown up in a more progressive place, this is like, that's like so last decade or whatever. But it's really not for a lot of people, and we still have deep work to do around bridging that the Madonna Whore, Madonna meaning putting it on a pedestal. Sex is okay in the context of marriage, in the context of socially sanctioned relationships, or it's taboo, like slut, whore, and then there's this like vast reality in between of like how we actually relate to sex. And sensuality merely means relating to the senses. Children are sensual because they're like relating to the sensate experience. Smells, touch, very tactile, taste, wanting to eat everything sometimes. So these things have been conflated. Pleasure, orienting around pleasure, knowing that's a valid pursuit is very important in these cultural shifts happening now. And for our own wellness, our own personal growth, our emotional, physical, and spiritual or energetic, whatever you want to relate to that, wellness, of which is all happening here inside of us. So this is an important concept because our culture is shifting around how we relate to these things. And it pertains to that binary thinking, I think I've mentioned before, but where it's like, it's sexual or it's not sexual. It's black or it's white. It's yes or it's no. It's wrong or it's right. This is polarized thinking we've been taught from society that inherently creates divisiveness and makes it really hard to communicate and to build authentic intimacy. Which is somewhat of a redundant statement because there's no such thing as inauthentic intimacy. It's only in authenticity we can have intimacy. So it's not sexual or not sexual. Maybe it's sensual. Maybe we're walking around within our sexuality at all times because we're animals. Or we can access turn on easily because we are embodied. Or because we are moving towards getting rid of shame from society around foundational aspects of humanity. And therefore, there's no this or that. It is a continuum of relating to our sensate experience. So, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, share if you could, appreciate it. And keep in mind, mindfulness practice, whenever you notice yourself having this like binary thinking, and then I really encourage you to explore areas of your life where you can be sensual in a safe way, even if it's by yourself, sensual, without an agenda.